What I'd like to share is my oldest grandson, who turns 20 in April. When he was 2 years old, he was diagnosed with a slight case of autism.
Well, I can speak about two people, myself and my son.
And so his mother, who is my youngest daughter, immediately went into how can we maximize his strengths mode. And so she immediately started working with him to see what he was good at, things that he didn't like doing. And one of the things that she discovered was that he loved numbers and he loved math. And so she, from the very, very beginning at age 2, started to work with him on numbers. And once he hit first grade, he was actually doing 5th grade math. That's how well she had worked with him and had seized on the strengths that he was going to have with his autism.
My son, who's very severely autistic, and for the first 3 years of his life was nonverbal. So you can imagine, you dream about your children, you think they're going to be perfect and the brightest and the most athletic and the most sweet and funny and talkative, and like every other parent, you get slapped in the face with the possibility that this is not going to happen.
Nobody is a cookie cutter. Everybody has their own individual needs, and there's a lot of need to think outside of the box to meet those individual needs. And it's important to think about that everybody is experiencing an autism diagnosis in a unique way.
There's many different types of autism and many different levels of autism. And for those individuals that have a slight case of autism, as in the case of my oldest grandson, it's a matter of finding what they're good at, finding what they like to do. And for example, one of the most memorable moments I have with my grandson is when he was a first grader. We attended a college baseball game in Omaha, and it was Creighton and Butler were playing each other in college baseball. And it was about the 5th or 6th inning of the game. And my grandson turns to me and he goes, "Grandpa, do you know the pitch count?" And I looked at him and I go, "Yeah, it's how many pitches each team has thrown." And his mother laughed at me and she goes, No, that's not what he means. He means, do you know how many pitches each of the teams has thrown? Have you been counting? And I kind of looked at him and I go, "No, Jonathan, have you?" And he laughed and he goes, "Yeah, Creighton has thrown 62 pitches and Butler's thrown 58 pitches. So as he was talking throughout the entire game, he was keeping track of how many pitches each of the two teams had thrown. And that's his strength, is he loves numbers and he's really, really good at it. And so when he, like I said earlier, when he started first grade, he was doing 5th grade math. When he got to be a 5th grader, he was doing freshman level algebra. And so that's really his strong suit and still is to this day.
And this is a blow, not a blow to the ego, it's a blow to every second that you've invested in that child, every minute that they've looked at you, every smile they've given you. And now you start unwinding their future and how hard it's going to be, because it's not a physical disability that people visualize and understand. It's not a cancer, goodness forbid. It's not a heart issue that people somehow comprehend. It's a non-tangible. And I can tell you about myself. I've been told that I'm the smartest dumb person so many times. And it's not that I am socially awkward, it's I don't have the tools inherently to be effective. So society reminds you, when it comes to developmental disabilities, every day, that you don't fit in, you're weird, you're an outcast. And it never ends.
I want people to know that autism is more, that people with a diagnosis of autism just bring such a unique and wonderful flavor to the world. And there is so much joy and passion and things that we can learn, and that I appreciate learning every single day.
I want people to know that autistic people want friends, want to be with others, want to enjoy the very simple things that others naturally and inherently are endowed with and being able to do.
Each person with autism, whether they're a young student to a college student to an adult, every person with autism is unique, and you need to make sure to treat them with kindness and respect, just like the way you would want to be treated.
If you see a child running around the perimeter, if you see a child jumping and flapping, it's not because they're not smart. It's not because they don't want to be social. It's because they can't. I want people to know that it's a developmental delay. It is not a lifelong cross to bear.
In the words of someone I work with, they say, invite them 7 times. And I really like that advice. So don't just assume that because someone says, oh no, I don't want to go to the party or that event, that you should just stop asking. Ask them, make sure that they understand that they are really wanted, and that they are welcome.
What I have learned for myself as a 51-year-old with autism is there are equations for life, not just for mathematics or accounting. And if you get to learn them, you don't need to be that outcast. You don't need to be that heartless person who is not engaged. But you also need others to be willing participants. You want others to give you the grace that they ask for themselves, but are very often not willing to share for others and with others.
I think the thing I'm most proud of is what my youngest daughter did to find the places where my oldest grandson can be successful.
I'm proud of the humility of being a parent of a child with autism has taught me.
I am very proud when I see a student with an autism diagnosis flourish both socially, emotionally, and academically at school, as well as when they learn those skills and they use them in both the school setting and in their home setting. Because I've worked with students in both of these different settings, and it's just amazing to see their positive growth and them come out of their shells and just love themselves for who they really are.
When he was 16 years old, she got him his first job. He got a part-time job at Burlington Coat Factory. And he loved what he did. He was in charge of inventory. So when boxes would come in, he would be required to unpack the boxes, catalog the inventory, put it on the racks, and roll it out onto the showroom. And he absolutely loved doing that. And the thing that's the funniest about that story is even though he was making money from the age of 16, he doesn't like to spend money. So he saves and saves and saves and saves money. And one of the funniest things my daughter said to me when he graduated high school was the fact that Jonathan probably had more money in his checking account than most kids. He had like $10,000 saved up as a high school senior graduate because he liked to make money, but he didn't want to spend the money. And so in summary, I guess, is finding those areas where they can really be good at, they're strong at, they like it, and excel at. And if you can find that in those individuals that do have autism, they truly, truly have a wonderful life ahead. My grandson will turn 20 next month in April, and he has a wonderful life ahead of him. And whatever he does, it's going to be in terms of money or numbers or something to do with math. And very proud of my daughter, very proud of my grandson that they have been so successful up to this point in his life.
I'm proud that it's taught me that although your child might have a developmental delay, they could teach you a whole lot about humanity. They can teach you a whole lot about your humanity.
I am most proud of the students that I work with for them being themselves and for pursuing their dreams and not being afraid to let a diagnosis limit them from reaching whatever joy is out there in the world and whatever they can achieve. Making that path forward is something that I'm really proud of all of our students that are able to achieve that.